I'm Jason Carter. Physical optimization defines my life. The day I was born, doctors nearly killed me with medical malpractice. They said I'd never walk. I've been proving them wrong for 35 years. It's easier than you think to obtain super optimal health. I've devoted my life to it, and with my help, you can too. I'm Jason Carter, and this is ENZYMENTAL. And welcome to ENZYMENTAL. I'm Jason Carter, and continuing our discussion about metabolic syndrome, I told you previously about what metabolic syndrome is and some of the foods you can avoid to avoid metabolic syndrome, and even some of the foods you can eat to support healthy blood sugar and also avoid metabolic syndrome. But what supplements can you take to support your body's production of healthy blood sugar? There are actually numerous natural supplements that are easily available and really help to maintain optimal blood sugar. So one of my favorite is chromium, an essential trace element that's required for normal insulin function and can actually increase insulin sensitivity dramatically. And that's what you want. You want to restore your cells to insulin sensitivity so your cells actually respond to insulin. So unfortunately, many people do not receive adequate dietary amounts of chromium. And actually, the symptoms of chromium deficiency are the same as the symptoms associated with metabolic syndrome. So some foods you can consider that are actually naturally rich in chromium include brewer's yeast, as well as some grains, though many of it is lost when these foods are refined. And also, you heard what I said last time about trying to limit your grain intake. Other foods you can take that are helpful are things like blueberries and ginger. Those are both very decent sources of chromium. And also, of course, cinnamon. A typical dose for chromium is anywhere from 200 micrograms to as much as 800 micrograms daily. And one of the best things about chromium is that it takes away the craving for sugar. Okay, so you can still taste sugar, but you just don't want it as much. You don't crave it as much as you did before. And a good way to illustrate that is, I knew a guy one time who came to see me and he was eating a gallon of ice cream every day. And even though I've never been a fan of ice cream, I was drinking a pound of honey a day at the height of my sugar addiction. So I understand that kind of mentality. I was there in the same way that he was. And he knew that it was killing him, and it was killing his wallet too, going through a gallon of ice cream a day. So I told him about some supplements for sugar control, and when I got around to chromium and explained to him that the chromium eliminates the craving for sugar, he decided to try that and bought a bottle and went on his way. And I didn't see him again for maybe 8 months. And honestly, I thought he died, because I think, if you're putting away a gallon of ice cream a day, you're probably not going to be around very long. Well, he came back into my store about some 8 months later, and he had lost so much weight, I didn't recognize him at all. And he had to remind me who he was, and he said, "Do you remember me? You showed me chromium, and you told me it would take away the cravings for sugar." Well, it did, and it dropped my ice cream obsession down from 1 gallon a day to 2 teaspoons. I still like it, I still enjoy the taste of it, but 2 teaspoons of ice cream every day does for me what a gallon of ice cream did for me before. He was astonished that it worked so well. So that's kind of a good practical example of what chromium can do for you. Even if you're not a sugar addict like me, it can really help to maintain optimal insulin sensitivity and help to eliminate excess sugar cravings. And it's very subtle, but it does work. Okay, so another one you want to consider is alpha lipoic acid. This is a fat-soluble and water-soluble nutrient that improves blood sugar metabolism, among many other benefits. It also improves insulin sensitivity, lowers glucose and insulin levels, and actually improves blood flow to peripheral nerves, supporting nerve function, and actually stimulates the regeneration of nerve fibers. So in this way, alpha-lipoic acid is also a key nutrient for anyone dealing with neuropathy, especially diabetic neuropathy. Alpha-lipoic acid is also a powerful antioxidant which helps to counter the harmful effects of excess free radical production caused by sugar, and is often thought of as a universal antioxidant because it does tend to extend the life cycles of other existing antioxidants in the body like glutathione and vitamin C, among other things. Anywhere from 50 to 100 milligrams would be a typical dose for most anyone. But for glucose intolerance and also metabolic syndrome, you might have to go closer to 300 milligrams a day, or even a little bit more. The amino acid L-glutamine is a sugar-fighting amino acid that can reduce cravings for sweets, starches, and alcohol. It actually works by preventing the brain from dropping into the low blood sugar, must-eat simple carbs and candy right now feelings. When the brain is in low blood sugar mode, it can burn glutamine instead. Glutamine typically comes anywhere from 500 milligrams to 1,000 milligrams in a capsule form. 1 teaspoon of powder will give you about 5,000 milligrams. As a kind of a quick relief of sugar cravings, in addition to your chromium, you can try placing about like 500 milligrams or 1/10 of a teaspoon under your tongue and see if that helps you. Glutamine is also the precursor to GABA in the brain, gamma-aminobutyric acid, so it helps to build that nice relaxation amino acid and give you calm mental focus. And yet another nutrient that really helps with blood sugar is vitamin C, and that also helps to lower glucose levels as well as prevent the glycosylation of proteins, which of course is the dangerous combination of sugar and protein that can lead to arterial damage and numerous other damaging effects. I'm going to do a video entirely about glycosylation and glycation to explain that in depth, but as we've also talked about, vitamin C also counteracts the effects of stress and is essential for rebuilding the adrenal glands. So it's also an essential nutrient you want to take for supporting healthy blood sugar levels. And so all of these things I'm telling you about, guys, should help you to maintain long-term blood sugar balance. And again, even if you don't have metabolic syndrome, these are things you can incorporate very easily into your life to maintain optimal blood sugar. Thanks for watching. I'm Jason Carter, and I'll see you next time on ENZYMENTAL. Stay healthy.